Welcome to Book Club, where we discuss books from the continent. Today's topic is the Nigerian book that struck you the most. My name is Safiya, and today I'm here with
Farida, Salihu, Lukman.
Mairo.
Okay. I think 2 weeks ago we just returned from Kaba Fest. Me and Mariam went. Farida didn't go
No, I didn't.
because she doesn't want to go to Kaba.
No, because I had no idea that I didn't have CVS. So.
Okay. Kaba Fest is a festival about books and art, and it's a way to showcase books in the north. So, like, what did you think about it?
It was very inspiring for one, and then it brought topics out. Like it brought topics, and it was a safe place. You know,
Safe.
It felt like a safe place. Well, yeah, it felt like where people in the north discuss topics they would not dare to discuss in any other place. Because it was very inspiring, you know, meeting those authors, listening to some people's stories. Like, it is what we need in the north. It was great.
I guess. But like I feel this year compared to last year it wasn't as focused on books. It was more like social, political. And I'm like, I came here for the books. Where are the books?
You know, I agree with you 100%. It was because almost every day and most of the panels, they really touched on social issues. But I mean, like, these social issues inspire writers all the time. So trashing them out in such a setting was very important.
I don't know. I feel like it should have been a bit more balanced.
You have a point.
I mean, being it's the second one, there's only
Third.
time. Third? Oh,
Yeah.
great. There's only time to like get better.
Next year you're coming.
Definitely.
Okay. So today's topic is the Nigerian book that struck you the most. So what's the Nigerian book that struck you the most, Farida?
Mine, it took me a while to actually come up with this one. But then I remember Everything Good Will Come. I read this so long ago. I was probably 9, 10. I don't remember, so that's not even accurate. It's by Safiya Pereira. And when I thought of it, I asked myself, why didn't I think of this immediately? Because I literally remember I could not put it down until I was done. So basically, it's a coming-of-age book about a young girl growing up in post-colonial Nigeria. And the themes are very broad. They go from like a girl discovering herself to discovering how the men in your life can disappoint you to like the political unrest in Nigeria at the time, as well as balancing or battling her mother's religious beliefs. Her mom was, I think, what we would call like a religious, help me with the word.
Religious. Fanatic.
A fanatic, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because she lost her son and she tried everything she could do to like save her son, but she couldn't.
I mean, religion is really a form of solace for people.
Yeah.
Especially in like Nigeria.
Yeah. Religion becomes more than what it actually is.
I'm not going to like lead into that conversation because I know where you can go.
So what was the book that struck you the most?
For me, it wasn't as hard to come up with what book struck me the most because I've been thinking. I read Born on a Tuesday 2 years ago, but lately I was thinking, okay, maybe I didn't judge the book fairly because I had arguments with different people how the book didn't live up to what I expected. Like, he had such a good story to work with. But I mean, with every day and with new ideas coming into my mind and with unlearning, I realized how important that book is. Like this year, it just came to me. Nope, Born on a Tuesday is an extremely important book that every Nigerian should read.
Yeah, because I remember you saying like, when you first read it, you were like, "There's no way this boy can be an Almajiri because of your experience."
Yes,
with Almajiris.
Yes,
KD,
yes. And I know it took me time to appreciate Born on a Tuesday. Sorry, Elnatan. But the truth is, sometimes from the outside, it's about this boy who was an Almajiri. The themes in the book so much. It's so rich of themes because if we talk about an Almajiri, we're talking That's a topic in northern Nigeria now. Then this Almajiri boy, after his Quranic school, couldn't afford the fare to go back home. So this is the reality of some of these boys. They go
Yeah.
from a state that where is home to another state, completely different home, and get stuck there. So they're left without
And they live on the streets.
no moral guidance.
Yeah.
Yes. Because after, well, no moral guidance might be pushing it too far, because I mean they're in a Quranic school and all, but the the family structure is completely missing from their life.
Yeah.
Some of them never find their way back home, and poverty plays a great role in that. So such an important book, and yes, I was wrong for thinking or for feeling let down that El Nathan in his story made of an Almajiri, such a thinker. And I feel it's a tendency to dehumanize people that we look at as less, and it is wrong. And I mean, Bono Tuesday did a great job in, showing that just that Almajiri boy is just a kid like you and I were, and
Yeah.
is capable of thought too.
Yeah.
And
Any opinions, Farida?
It's just trying to understand why you didn't, because I remember reading the book, and it was also another book that I literally just read till I was done reading it, because it was so interesting. Besides
it
the
was a good
Almajiri
book for
thing,
me.
like it also talks about like homosexuality and how it's perceived,
touched
especially in
on-
northern Nigeria.
he
and, you know.
touched on so many issues, and I think that's why I said my first issue with the book was that I felt like it had, based on how many things it touched, it had mad potentials. Like I just really wanted like this book to blow mad, like this would be the book of the century, because of how broad, like his mind went to so many places that he didn't develop till the end. Like some of the places he touched didn't come full circle. He spoke about homosexuality, he spoke about Shia and Sunni, the whole thing. He spoke about so many things, and so I was like, guy, there's so much you would have done with this. Like,
It almost feels like
this
it should
would
be a
have been
continuation.
like, do you get? I feel so. That was one of my issues, but now I appreciate the book a lot more.
I don't know. I think when I was reading it, I was just more like struck on the progression of extremism, because I was like, from the outside, you don't really understand. Like, you can't imagine how someone can become an extremist.
Yeah.
And then you read it, and it's like, it's almost as if it's a logical progression.
True.
It's like the complete other side, because I guess I'm Christian. So, like, seeing the way that Muslims see Christians in the North.
Yeah.
Because, like, you experience it firsthand, but you never really understand how they're thinking. And so I'm like, wow, this actually, like, anyone could have entered Boko Haram. Anyone could have been radicalized.
True.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I was just, like, struck with how close to home it was in a way.
Yeah.
And, like, just very personal. But, yeah.
Personal.
Yeah.
Personal.
Like in our home environment, it was
Yeah.
like because you interact with these people, but like in almost a very nonchalant. Oh yeah, it's like
That's a
second
distance.
thought.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it makes you think, like you said, that these are actual children. and
These are
human beings,
actual
and-
children and humans. I can remember like when I was in Zaria, like I literally firsthand I could tell you a whole about this Almajiri stuff. So we're walking back to school. I stayed in Gele soon. So most of these topics I'm like, yep. As Ezeki was my neighbor, so I'm like, yep. Almajiri, I literally have to pass them sleeping in front on the floor outside.
Like
before
12
I
of
get
them
to
will
my
sleep
own
in
house.
front of the house.
Exactly. And it's like most of my interactions with them, it's either, thinking about it, like who stones me in Zaria when I'm working with hair extensions is the Almajiri. Who will I, send on an errand and he will run away with my money is the Almajiri. So I didn't leave Zaria so fond, very fond of the Almajiri. I think it's easy to make them and make us us, when really it's the same system really, and they are victims of the system.
Yeah.
And they don't deserve to be a them separate from us. So I feel like unconsciously sometimes we just use a mental paint and paint them a certain color, while they're human beings capable of thought, capable of doing good and great things
Yeah.
in the right environment.
Okay. That's cool. The Nigerian book that struck me the most is Diane Evans' 26A, which I read like you when I was very young. I can almost not remember the book, but I think the thing that struck me was after the end, because it's about two twins, Georgia and Bessie, and it's sort of how like their lives are intertwined and they can't separate their lives. And I guess it's interesting because there's always, you know, as a non-twin, you're interested in the lives of twins because they seem so sort of like,
Exotic.
yeah,
Yeah.
like otherworldly, like, wow,
Yeah.
you're actually a duplicate, like you're a clone.
Like now someone that looks exactly
Like you. And then you grow up together and like you go to the same school and everything. So it was like how Georgia's emotions and their life experiences couldn't really like be separated from each other. So it's almost like the happiness is doubled, the sadness is doubled, the grief is doubled. And then when one of them dies, it's like, wow, I have to be on my own now. And like I'm my own person and I'm not, you know, affected by the thoughts of someone else or the emotions of someone else. So I guess it was really the grief at the end that like kind of struck me and like has stayed with me for so long. But yeah. Okay, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank
And I learned so much about the books. Thank you for watching this episode of Book Club. Remember to stay tuned. We have more episodes coming out with all the three of us.
Thank you.
You know.